You shouldn't be, but if you're a Tennessee fan, you're naturally going to be petty because Nico Iamaleava went out of his way to humiliate you this offseason. Now, I don't know if it was Nico or his family, but remember everything that happened. Tennessee opened up the checkbook to get Nico Iamaleava, $8 million over 4 years, thumbed its nose at the NCAA, had its state and its neighboring state sue the NCAA on Nico Iamaleava's behalf to throw out restrictions on NIL, and did everything to fight for him, generated all the controversy, took all the heat, only to see Nico Iamaleava's family transfer at the end of spring practice. Story comes out, they were asking for even more money. Tennessee said no, and then that they took less money at UCLA. But the Iamaleava family didn't stop there. They went out and told 3 different reasons for transferring away to UCLA. Actually, 4. We heard 4 different reasons. No, we heard 3. One of the reasons was obviously money that we think it was, but they said it wasn't about money. They first said it was about the offensive system because, Tennessee doesn't develop offense, but we knew that seemed like a lie because they knew that when they committed to Josh Heupel, and you wouldn't commit to a school that runs a pro-style offense if that offensive coordinator running it was a first-year offensive coordinator, which UCLA wasn't Tino Sinceri. That wasn't it. We also heard that they didn't put enough, that the Iamaleava family wasn't happy about how they put enough, about the amount of talent and supporting cast Tennessee was putting around him. So they went to UCLA, a school with less talent and a lower supporting cast, please. And then Nico Iamaleava, after those 2 things didn't work out, decided to say that the real reason he did it was because he wanted to go home. And that's why he wanted to go. That's why he transferred to UCLA. He said that when he finally spoke about it. Inconsistencies all around. But then we get Joel Klatt coming out saying that Tennessee was controlling the narrative. They were making things up, all that good stuff. And it all came to fruition with UCLA in a late night game against Utah on Saturday, losing 43-10. 43-10. Now, for Nico Iamaleava's part, he did lead the team in rushing and passing. He had 47 rushing yards. But he was sacked 4 times, and he was 11 of 22 for 136 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception in a 43-10 home loss. And immediately, out of the blue, UCLA fans are already turning on Nico Iamaleava. They were frustrated as I'll get out with Nico Iamaleava and the way he played in that game. Barstool UCLA was trashing him with some of the overthrows. All of a sudden, UCLA Twitter and UCLA fans have turned on Nico Iamaleava, and it only took 1 game. What the H brought to you by Rick Terry Jewelry Designs. They want to be your jeweler looking for affordable game day jewelry, a Tennessee tradition. RickTerryJewelry.com.
Having been in the jewelry industry for a long time in the Knoxville community, I saw a need for a jeweler, a real jeweler.
Our ability to do these designs has really been based on the customers bringing new things in and challenging us as a store. Our goal is not to tell anybody what they want. Our goal is to listen to what they want and then help them get there.
Schedule your consultation today to get your special someone the perfect custom gift just in time for the holidays.
The poll question up: do you take pleasure in Nico Iamaleava playing so poorly against Utah? Yes, karma's a B word. No, I don't wish ill will on college athletes. I don't wish ill will on players. Okay. So go ahead, you guys vote on that. The poll question up is: do you take pleasure in Nico Iamaleava playing so poorly against Utah? Yes, karma's a B word, or no, I don't wish ill will on players. I think that's kind of either way, you might look bad based on how you say it, because, do you want to be the guy who wishes ill will on players? We don't know, but I'll just show you this, a couple of misses that Nico Iamaleava clearly had. And again, last year, part of the issue was Tennessee's receivers were a big problem. We will say that. But this year, there were just some, but in this game, there were just some very clear overthrows that he can't make. And I'm just going to show you this one that has stood out to everybody, that everybody's talking about. And even at Tennessee, I don't think I saw one this bad. And that might be shocking to a lot of you. But guys, I don't think, was there an overthrow this bad when Nico was at Tennessee? Look at this one right here. This is when, that's a touchdown if he puts it on the money. Now, the receiver dropped it, but Nico's got to put that a little bit more in. He's got to have a little bit more touch on that ball. That is a clear touchdown if Nico just throws it, just underthrow it a little bit at that point. You can underthrow it if you if you do it right. That's a clear as day touchdown. But I got to say that Nico was doing that all night, and everybody at UCLA was turning against it. Now, we had heard more that Nico Iamaleava wanted to opt out of the playoff game last year, which was causing issues. What we're really seeing here is that Nico Iamaleava has just, I think personally, the pressure and everything got to him playing at UCLA. It was already getting to him at Tennessee. And then I think playing at UCLA, knowing the way he transferred, knowing everything that happened with that, the pressure just hit him so hard, and he missed on some easy throws. And that was happening consistently. Of course, Deshaun Foster was saying after the game, "Oh, we're close. We're close." Really? No, you're not. And the funny thing is, you transfer to UCLA, and Joey Aguilar transfers to Tennessee, and Joey Aguilar has a much better start at Tennessee. That something that Nico Iamaleava could have had, honestly, if he had stayed at Tennessee. I do believe that. I've said for a while that Tennessee probably could have been better with Nico Iamaleava this year than they would have been than they will be with Joey Aguilar. But I always said they'd be better with Joey Aguilar than they were with Nico Iamaleava last year. And Joey Aguilar at Tennessee will be better than Nico Iamaleava will be at Alabama. I just don't think there's any way around those facts. So when you take all of that into account, when you take all that into consideration, I kind of look at this and I say, honestly, Nico Iamaleava brought this on himself. At the same time, I never like to wish ill will on anybody. I never like to wish ill will on athletes, but he's looking, at least after the opener, at least after the start, he's looking really, really bad right now. The whole question up, did you take pleasure in Nico Iamaleava playing so poorly against Utah? Yes, karma's a B word, 85%. No, I don't wish ill will on players is 15%. I'm going to stay fair. I've tried to stay measured on Nico the whole time. Okay. Nico also, that is a great point. Adam overthrew a running back from 5 yards away for a pick. Yes, I'm going to be fair to Nico. The receiving core was an issue for Nico last year. Brew McCoy, all the respect in the world for him, great leader, great player, was coming off a broken leg, and I clearly lost a step, hence the reason he had to medically retire from football. That was a big issue for Tennessee last year. Nico could never get his timing right with Brew McCoy. Dante Thornton was also coming off a season-ending injury, which slowed him up. And Squirrel White was playing with a separated shoulder half the year. So the receiving core was causing an issue for Nico overall. I also do think that Nico was slow to process things and slow to pick up things, but I think you can develop in that. I do. I think you can develop. Now, again, Nico is not what I thought he was, which I told you guys I was having about nobody a couple of years ago, saying he was created in a lab to run Josh Heupel's offense. That was based on me watching the Polynesian Bowl in high school and then watching some clips and hearing about things he had been doing in practice when he arrived for bowl practice at Tennessee in 2022. Turns out you still got to process and make quick decisions. He wasn't doing that. You can develop that, though, over time. He just wasn't early. At the same time, that's why Joey Aguilar is such an advantage over Nico. You wonder if Nico had stayed at Tennessee, if he would have processed a lot better this year. At the end of the day, though, he brought this on himself, or at least his family brought this on him. And at some point, he's got to make his own decisions, because that was an awful, awful performance by him on Saturday. And he deserves a lot of the blame for what happened. He was missing on a lot of throws. The pressure was getting to him, I do believe. But pressure getting to you is a really bad sign going forward for playing quarterback. Maybe he'll settle into the role. I'm sure Tennessee fans hope he doesn't, but that was just a really bad situation. I think who I root against more than Nico Iamaleava, guys, and I'll just be honest with you. I root against Deshaun Foster more than I root against Nico Iamaleava. For him to sabotage Joey Aguilar like that reminded me of Brent Schaefer and Ed Orgeron, where, for those who don't remember, Ed Orgeron, entering his second year at Ole Miss in 2006, landed Brent Schaefer out of the transfer portal. And before Schaefer was even academically eligible to arrive on campus, Orgeron told the whole team Brent Schaefer was going to be the starting quarterback. No competition. It was totally unfair. Josh Heupel almost lost the team doing that with Joe Milton a few years ago when, from sources I had heard, the team wanted Hendon Hooker. And now I got to say that I think Deshaun Foster lost his team when Joey Aguilar was winning everybody over, working with them in spring practice. And then Deshaun Foster goes and says, I'm going to take Nico Iamaleava, and kind of makes it very clear that he's going to start Iamaleava over Aguilar in the fall. Aguilar transfers, ends up at Tennessee. And then the coaching staff at UCLA starts to leak stories questioning Aguilar's work ethic. One of the most Bush League things ever. So I'm actually more rooting against Deshaun Foster than I am Nico Iamaleava. I think Nico Iamaleava the problem with him is he already was surrounded by bad people, his family, who don't know what they're doing. Now he's surrounded by a head coach who doesn't know what he's doing, and an offensive coordinator who's the son of Sal Sinceri. So just by being in the family of Sal Sinceri, I assume he doesn't know what he's doing. And that's going to lead Nico Iamaleava to make a lot of bad decisions. He's not got the right environment around him. I mean, again, homeboy can throw. We know homeboy can throw the ball, but he's not in the right environment, and that's a big issue for him going forward. And we'll see what happens. But look, I mean, he brought the hate on himself for what he's doing on this. So it's kind of interesting how that all played out.